Hello, I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Simply Stamping Sunday. Let me just get my camera a little better adjusted. See if that makes a difference. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Just trying to make sure we've got everything the best it should be. Thank you for joining me tonight. I think we've got the camera pretty good now. I'm using a new ring stand and I just have to see what it looks like once we're live. So that's what I was doing. So welcome to Simply Stamping Sunday. It's a new month, so we have a new stamp set that we're using. And this month we're going to be using the Autumn Leaves stamp set. This stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, and it is found in the mini catalog, which went live on, Wednesday. And so if you open it up directly in the middle of the catalog, this is where you'll find the stamp set. It has some beautiful samples. This is a suite all about autumn, and in the suite it contains lots of things to make the cards that we are going to be doing this month. You'll want the stamp set and the designer series paper and some very vanilla cardstock. But if you have an embossing, a die cut and embossing machine, I would highly suggest that you get the whole suite because it is just gorgeous. The suite itself is $105.75, but if you get just the stamp set, it is, let me see, let me look in the back so I can give you the right price. The stamp set is only...
Okay, let's eat. Sorry. Oh.
Sorry, that was my husband. I can tell he wants to eat dinner. So the stamp set is... Goodness gracious, why can't I find the price for just the stamp set? Well, I will find it and put it in the comments so that we don't waste time talking about that. I can see what the bundle is, but I can't see what the stamp set is right now. But I will find it later on. The designer series paper is $15, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Let me just grab it so that you can see it. It color coordinates with the colors Cajun Craze, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, Pretty Peacock, Pumpkin Pie, and Very Vanilla. And on one side, and I have used up some of the sheets, so I don't have every sheet to show you tonight, but on one side, the sheet shows you Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow. Turn that off. There we go. It shows you a beautiful photograph of an autumn background, sweaters, or comforters. Look at this beautiful autumn street. But on the other side, it shows you it has a solid color with a distressed or oxidized copper feel to it. So you've got this beautiful, beautiful copper and one of the in color colors. So, like I said, it's just gorgeous. Look at this top-down view. Looks just like if you were standing, looking down into a valley on a mountain. Some beautiful designs on the copper side. Here we have a beautiful blanket, a bookshelf with some beautiful books. Gives you just this autumn indoor feeling. Then we have some leaves, another one with some leaves, some more books. Oh, it's just so beautiful. And we have here the hassock or footstool, whichever you would call it. So, like I said, this designer series paper is just so gorgeous. It is, if you try to order it tonight, it is out of stock, but it is supposed to be back in stock this week. So, like we normally do on a Sunday night, I always start with an easy card. And this is the card that we're going to be creating tonight. It is using just a couple stamps. I am using this leaf from the stamp set. It's an, I think it's supposed to be an oak leaf. I'm using some of the three of these sentiments, and I'll show you what I did to mount those. And I am actually using something from last month's stamp set from the layering leaves. This is the speckled background. So let's get started. So materials, and the materials for tonight are easy as well. You're going to need a piece of very vanilla cardstock that measures 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. We'll be stamping on this image. You're going to need a piece of the beautiful designer series paper. I picked this image that has more of a Cajun craze, copper clay look, and on the other side it had the books. It measures 3 by 4. And then you need a piece of the very vanilla cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then, of course, you need an 8.5 by 5 1/2 piece of vanilla cardstock. So let's start with just folding this over and creasing our fold with our bone folder. And I am going to start by doing some stamping. So I'm going to start with so one of the things I want to show you on the inside of the card, I stamped a pair of greetings and I stamped 3 of the leaves. So you have to decide which 3 inks you want to stamp, because you will need that as you want to stamp it as we're going along. I'm just going to I washed all of my cleaning pads today, and of course it's a nice rainy Sunday here in New Hampshire, so I am going to just moisten up a paper towel to have something to clean my stamps in between. So there we go for that. All right, I'm going to start with my cherry cobbler. Actually, no, I'm going to start with Cajun Craze. I'm going to stamp my middle image first, and I feel that will just get me started on where I need to go. So I'm going to just go about in the middle of the paper, stamp my image. You'll see that I get a really nice bold image that's slightly colored in on the inside. And on the inside, I did not use this one. I didn't use my 2 boldest colors. So I'm going to get all of that copper off so that I don't put it into my other ink pads. And I'm going to take out my Cajun crushed curry, and that is going to be my next one. And so notice I stamped that one going down. This one is going to be going up, and I'm going to overlap a little bit, and that's okay, because that's what happens when our leaves fall in the ground. And if you'll notice, I did use that on the inside of my card, so I'll move this out of the way, and I'm going to stamp this in the inside as well. So there we go. I had it going straight up. Okay, so that part is done. We'll clean off this stamp. And I'm done with my crushed curry, so I can put that right away. Then the next color that I used was pumpkin pie. Now, most of my colors are coming from the Regal color family, but the pumpkin pie is not in the Regal color family. So it is in the Brights family now. So I am only using one color out of a different color family for this month. So there we go with that. Now I'm going to add this to the middle of the card. There we go. Clean off the stamp. And I'm done with pumpkin pie. We're going to be doing all of our greetings and the splattering in the Cajun Craze. So now I am going to go on to Old Olive. So my Old Olive is going to be going down this time, and it is going to be right here. And my Old Olive is my last leaf that's going on the inside. There we go. We have our 3 leaves in the inside. Now my colors might look pretty dark on the cardstock right now compared to what they are on the sample, and that's okay. The ink kind of levels out its color as it dries, and it won't be as bold and bright. And my ink pads are new too, so that makes a difference. And then my final color is my Cherry Cobbler. So we'll ink that up. It is also going down. So there we have what looks like just a bunch of falling leaves on the ground. All right, so we're done with that color. The only thing we need now is the Cajun Craze. Okay, and I still have that open. So I'm going to take the splatter stamp now and be stamping all over this. And I'm going to be stamping on and off. I'm going to get some of it on the leaves, which is perfectly all right. But I just want to fill in all of that extra space. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to take the panel on the front. So, this I am going to be stamping, it says, with a grateful heart. And this is going to be right in the bottom right-hand corner. I like to do all my stamping before I put the card together. That way, if I make a mistake, I can turn the paper over or fix it somehow. So that's what I'm doing. Now, when I went to put this on the block, I wanted to use 2 of these stamps. And instead of putting them on separate blocks and stamping them separately, I just lined them up on my designer series paper. Now, I haven't stamped them yet. I am going to ink it up and stamp it right here to see how it looks. It looks perfect. So now I can ink it up and stamp it in the middle of my card. And it says, I'm thankful to have you as a friend. Okay, now we're done with all the ink, so I can get this out of the way and clean these quickly. So, autumn is my favorite season. What is your favorite season? Please let me know in the comments on Facebook or on YouTube if you're watching the video. I think if you live in New England, chances are autumn is your favorite season. It is just so beautiful here during the fall. Okay, so now I am I'm going to put this piece of designer series paper right in the center, right above the greeting. making sure on both sides it has about the same amount of space. And then this piece is going right over it so that there's just a little bit showing. Just make sure that's even. Just doesn't look even. Okay, that looks much better. And then all we have to do to finish this card up is add this to the front of our card base. And that's all there is to it for this week's Simply Stamping Sunday. So I hope you're going to be able to join me for the rest of the month to use this stamp set as we create some beautiful fall cards that I hope that you will enjoy. If you don't have this stamp set yet, you certainly can use any fall leaves you want, any designer series paper you want. Think of what I'm doing as a card sketch, that you could recreate this with any other stamp set that you might have. So it is a fun one to think about. It's just a simple, easy sketch. And remember, on Sunday nights, all I use are a stamp set, ink pads, and paper. And I always include some sort of designer series paper. So this is a great way to start to pick up your stamp supplies and start building a collection of ink pads at a time and a stamp set. So I hope you enjoyed this. We'll be using this set all month long. And next week I'm going to actually make 2 cards because I took Labor Day Sunday off, Labor Day weekend Sunday off. I want to still make 4 cards with you this month. So next week I'm going to make 2 cards, and then the following week I am going to show you a fun fold, and I'm going to show you an inking technique that is a lot of fun. And the only extra supply you would need is a sponge dauber, and a sponge dauber looks like this. So it just allows you to take the ink and daub it onto your image. So by the end of the month, if you have a sponge dauber, a sponge might work, but the sponge dauber is going to work a little bit better. So thank you for joining me tonight, either on my Facebook Live or on my replay on my Facebook channel, or finally on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and leave me a comment about where you're watching from and what is your favorite season. Don't forget that. Have a great week, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.